Chill more in the building, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, you guys. Welcome to the latest Show More Live. I am one of your hosts, Graphk Raider Man. Salute to everybody watching on OLV Raiders Network. Got both my brothers here in the building. We're missing a few Shieldmore members. One plum-headed ass did a live right before this. Yeah. Mr. Wasted Talent. You know what I mean? He gets a pass from all three of us today. It's his lovely wife's birthday, so they're gonna go out and kick it. But Andy should be live with us at some point during the draft this week. But Hammer, man, what's good, bro?
Acknowledge me.
You are acknowledged, kind sir. For those watching on Hammer's channel, make sure you guys do all the Shieldmore shenanigans, right? Wipe them feet, light your thumb, fucking pay your bar tabs, all that good shit, bro. Break them thumbs, all that shit. And make sure you hit that subscribe button on all three channels because we are trying to grow this thing over here at Shieldmore, man. We got a lot of great things in the works, you guys, including after the draft, because we're going to be covering every aspect of every draft pick that we bring in, including UDFAs. So stay tuned for that. But once again, we got our brother Big Mike Raider in the building. How you feeling, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's Christmas Eve.
Christmas
man.
Eve, man. We are literally, I think, like literally 24 hours away.
Yeah,
from day one. So
yes, I mean, 24 hours from now, we're gonna either be real happy or real disappointed, man. Either way, yeah, I'm for it, man. Let's get it, man.
And if some of this smoke is real, we some of us may end up being a little pissed off tomorrow. We're gonna go over that here shortly, man. But once again, salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, wipe them feet, y'all. Hit that subscribe button. Support us, support us, support us. We're also gonna go over the 30 for 30 Big Mike series. Phenomenal series over there where he covered 30 prospects in 30 days. Just wrapped it up, I believe, 2 or 3 days ago, I believe, right?
Yeah, Tuesday. We wrapped it up Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. So we're going to go over that series, and we're going to talk about everything that is hot in the nation right now. Real quick, I want to start with this situation that I think it was, who was it? Pauline? Is that his name, Hammer? The dude from Sportskeeda. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really that familiar with this dude's work. I always hear it's Tony Pauline. Okay. Yeah. Tony Pauline. He recklessly put out this crazy report on our star defensive tackle, Christian Wilkins. We all know that last season he dealt with a foot injury, missed a big, basically the whole season last season in his first year of his deal. And now he goes on to put out a report that he may miss a significant portion of the 2025 season due to a potential second procedure on his foot. We all know Christian Wilkins just signed a 4-year, $110 million deal. I got to keep it a buck here, you guys. All the beat writers that are in the building were confused by this. I think a lot of us, including, I reached out to a few people that I know in the building also that called ultra cap on this because once again, Christian Wilkins is there. Not voluntary workouts, you guys, right out there going full, full speed ahead out there. I mean, there's several videos, several pictures that the Raiders have uploaded, other stuff surfacing around the net that Christian Wilkins is out there getting to it. So I want to call ultra cap on this. And I think this is very, very irresponsible going into the draft. I know a lot of people are kind of throwing smoke out there right now, a lot of Mason Graham to the Raiders. And if this is true with Christian Wilkins, right, I can understand the scenario where Mason Graham becomes a Raider. But I just think this is very irresponsible. Vinny kind of debunked the story and was like, this is new to me. I've been here and last I heard everything was a go. And once again, he's in there uplifting and I'm just trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. Hammer, how do you feel about this Tony Pauline Sportskeeda report that drops literally the day before we go into this draft? Because this is significant if true. And once again, I will apologize if something comes out that this is a true report, but I don't think that the Raiders would hold on to this. I think that this would be significant news around that building, and I think a lot of people would kind of.
First off, Sportskeeda is not reputable in any way, shape, or form.
No,
I'm putting that out there. And look, if they get butthurt over it, fuck them. But for Tony Pauline, whatever the fuck his name is, I got two for you. One,
You're a fucking idiot.
and two,
congratulations, you played yourself.
Now I have to say this: there's a few articles I know that he's put out before in recent memory that he has some relationships around the NFL. I'm not going to completely act like this guy doesn't have a reputation around football circles, but I just feel like you're not going to be the first guy to report this.
absolutely not.
Scheffner didn't jump on it. Ian Rappaport didn't jump on it. I just think that this is irresponsible. Now, once again, there could be some things here, Big Mike, where I just feel like there's so much smoke. Like maybe this is a way for the Raiders, John Spytek and Pete Carroll and company to throw something out there to maybe make somebody come up for Mason Graham, right? Yeah. Maybe this whole Colton Miller thing, right, with him holding out. Maybe he gets a whole new extension once the draft is up, and they use this as a smoke screen to make somebody jump up to get Mimbu or Kelvin Banks. There's just so many different scenarios here where we can play into the media and have kind of somebody like Tony Pauline throw some shit at the wall and people just jump the gun the day before the draft. I mean, how do you feel about this, man? I think this would be bigger than Tony Pauline if it was true. Yeah.
There's layers to this, right? You got the beat writers that are in the building.
Yeah.
The Hondos, the Gutierrez, name them, right? They're in the building. They would be the first ones to kind of come out with this kind of news if it was something. Then you got the Schefters, the McShay, all the guys that would be on the list way before this dude. Now, maybe the Raiders used him as like, hey, we're going to use you as a grift to kind of get these guys to, like you said, we're going to try to.
I mean, Mike,
that's the only way.
Think about this. It would be irresponsible as fuck of the Raiders to allow him to do voluntary workouts if he needs a second procedure on his foot and potentially miss a major portion of the season. Do you think the Raiders are going to allow their $110 million investment to go out there with who needs a second surgery on his foot to go out there and work out?
I was confused because I saw him like when they went to the little mini thing, whatever they had last week.
Yeah.
I was like, I could have sworn I saw him working out, lifting weights. Like, I mean, what are we talking about here? Like, that's what I thought.
I want to show you guys a few things real quick. So while we're here, so we can kind of rest, the nation a little easier. Like you can rest a little easier tonight, knowing that one of our own is okay. So there's a few pictures right here.
I think them listening to us right now kind of puts them at ease.
Right. That's what I thought.
AFL Godfather posted a few pictures. Doesn't look like a guy up in the air. Doesn't look like a guy that is worried about landing on his foot. Let me show you guys another one right here. Can we
talk about 300 pounds doing pull-ups though? Like that's wild.
Adam Butler is doing a drill, and guess who's right behind him, looking like he's prepared to do the same thing right after.
Right.
So it doesn't look like a guy who needs a second procedure on the the List John injury, I believe. What is it called? Is it list some shit? Some shit like that. But I think we're okay, you guys. I think that our $110 million investment on the D line
there's a second option though. There's a second option why he did this.
Okay,
he must not be getting enough traffic, so he pressed the Raiders grift button. I'm gonna press the button, get some attention here because I haven't gotten the attention in a while.
It's funny though. I don't find this a coincidence that with Colton too, right, and Christian. They haven't come on social media like, what the fuck is this? Like, they haven't said anything. This may be a situation where Spytek and Tom Brady are literally just trying to mind fuck everybody. You know what I mean? Like, literally. But, like, I would not be shocked if Colton Miller gets an extension Monday. Like, honestly, like they signed him to a 2-year extension, keep him around. I think, and honestly, this Mimbu and Kelvin Banks shit could be a complete smokescreen. I know that they're high on DJ Glaze. I've heard from numerous people that they like him on the outside, not at the guard spot. They like him at right tackle where he looked really good. I don't think you move on from a Colton Miller and bring in a Kelvin Banks when you have all this salary cap and even more next year at your disposal. When this guy has been regardless if he had shoulder injuries, ankle injuries, he's been very durable for us.
He's
outside
still
of last year,
he's still a top 15
tops
left tackle
or bottom. I mean, yes.
Yeah, he's ranked like 13th, 14th overall right now at the left tackle position. But
at the end of the season, they put him at like 7 or 8 after I think week 6 or something like that. So
yeah. What go ahead, bro. My bad.
This has been on my mind for like the last couple hours, especially since you brought up Kelvin Banks and where we stand at 6 right now. Do you look at it? If the opportunity presented itself, because you know there's going to be teams that are still trying to get within that top 10, even closer than top 10, like 5, 6, whatever. What would you do if something presented itself in terms of trading back or even trading away Colton Miller? What do you think would be a realistic adding draft capital? What do you think we could get? Do you think it's like a late second? Do you think it's a 3rd round pick? And I'm not saying I want him out of here.
Yeah. But
I'm just thinking scenario based, and we heard what Spytech said last week. All the cards are on the table as we go into this tomorrow.
I'm not trading him.
Okay.
I would never trade him. But, I would say that, kind of looking around, looking up Colton Miller news and stuff, the Patriots want this dude bad. Like, fans for the Patriots, they're like salivating to get Colton Miller on the squad.
You know why, Big Mike? Because they would rather just trade a mid-round pick for him and spend that 4 on a blue chip player outside of a Will Campbell or a Mimbu. They would love to say, go get Genty there, or go get whoever's available there that may drop out of the top 3 or a top 3. So it makes a ton of sense.
It's for them. It don't make any sense to us. Now, the question I was about to ask you guys: what kind of money are you thinking Colton Miller would be getting? Now, you got a guy like with the Bills, Deion Dawkins, who isn't as good as Colton Miller, in my opinion, but he's on a better team with the Bills, right?
Right.
I would say that he would get a little bit more than what he has, around $20 million, according to Spot Track. Then you got Mailata from the Eagles, who got about 22. I'm thinking a little bit less than that because Mailata went off this past season. So I'm thinking 3-year deal, 21.5 million. That's where I would have.
We pretty much
said that.
We talked about this last week, and that's exactly what we said.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page as it pertains to giving him a new deal.
I mean, when he's on, he's a top 7 left tackle, potentially top 5 in certain times in his career. He looked phenomenal out there, right? So, I mean, very serviceable, very good. I'm not going to say he's a great left tackle because the greats are all pros. He hasn't had an all pro or a Pro Bowl to his name yet. There's a ton of great left tackles out there, so it's difficult, but he is worth every bit of $21 million per, for the next 2 or 3 seasons. And even if they just agree just to guarantee his money this season, just give him some guaranteed cash. Even if the Raiders want to see, if he's completely healed. And I think that the Raiders have every right to say, okay, well, you did play a great stretch of football at the end of the season, but can you is that sustainable going into training camp? And what does that look like going into week 1? Can you stay healthy?
I mean, I watched film on Colton Miller, man. If you look at the Chargers game, that first game, where at the beginning of the season, he was blocking with one hand.
Yeah.
He was pass blocking with one hand.
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't look as good. He looked horrible against the Browns. Yeah. And then if you go later in the season, this dude was kind of back to himself again. Yeah. So to me, Colton Miller, for 8 seasons, whatever, how many long seasons he's been with us, he's been reliable. He's been all reliable for us, and I'm not worried about the shoulder injury too much. He played through the shoulder injury. Yeah. Now, this is not a guy who's going to be sitting down. You got to worry about him, bringing any kind of effort. In fact, I will give him about 70% of whatever he's getting guaranteed. That's what I would get him.
He's one of the last homegrown talents that we have on the roster. former first round pick. You know, it's left tackles don't grow on trees, especially ones that are as talented as Colton Miller. And I would rather, address that O-line maybe in the second or third round if I had to bring in a guard. I like our tackles. I think Colton Miller can be good, especially with Chip Kelly and those guys in the fold. The offense is going to be better. We'll get a ground game going this year. I love DJ Glaze at right tackle. I don't want to move on from him. I think that another year under his belt as a starter, he can end up being one of the top right tackles in the NFL. I really think he's that good. So,
he was not a concern this past season, and even going into this offseason. The right tackle position, in my opinion, was solidified. The main issues for us was the interior. I said it time and time again. We know JPJ is there, front and center, our future center for years to come. Yeah. It was the guards that we needed the most help with. We made some moves in free agency. Mm-hmm. I still think there's still a possibility that we will draft a guard at some point during this draft, but our tackles, we're good. We're perfectly fine there.
And Big Mike covered one of these guys that I'm looking at in the mid rounds is Jackson Slater out of Sac State. That's a kid that you could potentially, and some people have in the 5th or 6th round. I don't think that he's going to go that late. I think that he can go as early as 3, late as 4. To me,
and you know why though, right? Because it's such a narrow guard class this year. There's like 4, maybe 5 good guards. Yeah. If a run on guards happen early, for sure, you're going to see him in the 3rd or 4th round. It kind of happened a couple years ago with Juice Scruggs. Everybody was talking about Scruggs being a 6th round pick. He ended up going in the 2nd round to the Texans.
It happened with DJ Glaze last year.
Yeah.
2 runs on tackles, and the next, we're like, what the hell is going on? We got DJ Glaze out of Maryland. That was a name that just kind of popped out of left field. You know what I'm saying? We're like, whoa. Yeah. After I
didn't do no research on him.
None of us did. And we covered that draft. I felt like from front to back.
I was like, man, they just throwing names out here now. Like that's what it felt like. Because I was like,
bro, I remember me and Waster were in Detroit dealing with Detroit Buddha. It looked the static all on the screen and shit. And DJ Glaze came, and we both just looked at each other like, "What the fuck just happened?
Who the fuck is that guy?"
Yeah. Hey, guess what? He plays phenomenal in year 1, and he's a good kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and once again, versatile. If you have to use him at the guard spot, he can.
When we did our film breakdown with Denzel Good, we kind of saw how special he can be athletically. Yeah. So right
Good
there, that's why I was a believer.
Yeah, Good was definitely impressed by what the kid put on tape. But once again, you guys, we'll get off the Christian Wilkins. I think we're kind of off of that already, but we can kind of dead that situation until the Raiders or someone reputable out of that building comes out and says, hey, this is a true. I just think that it's all smoke and mirrors. But I want to ask you guys' opinion on this because out of nowhere, Kelvin Banks Jr. pops into the fold today, right? First, it's Ashton Jeanty is the for sure thing. He's going to the Raiders, blah, 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 blah. And then out of nowhere, Todd McShay says the Raiders are not taking Ashton Jeanty at 6. And this was a definitive. I'm like, bro, who do you think you are? Are you John Spytek? Are you Tom Brady? It was definitive that he said the Raiders are not taking him. And he also suggested that there may be a mute point that there's still buzz that Jacksonville may take him at 5, right? And they still have, ETN, they have Bigsby there. It's not necessarily a need out there, but they have a new head coach, new GM out there. Maybe they want to make some noise and bring in a blue chip guy in year 1. But so it looks like some of that is kind of the Ashton Jeanty train is kind of slowing up here because even Mel Kiper had us taking him, and now he has us taking Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas, who we're all familiar with, but Hammer is very familiar with him because of being a Longhorn fan and so on and so forth. But the thing that McShay and these guys have said is that our new regime are looking for high character players, right? High character guys, and that he's a very high character dude, Kelvin Banks Jr. that we're talking about. Said that John Spytek is big on culture and that he's regarded as, a really good kid and one of the better tackles in this year's class. I'm not here, you guys, to beat up on Kelvin Banks Jr. I think that he is one of the better tackles in this class, and he's definitely a first-round guy. I just don't think that you need to take a guy that played left tackle. He doesn't necessarily, you don't have to put him at left tackle, but you still have Colton, and you got to figure out what you're doing. I think that this is such a smokescreen, and I would be, I don't want to say miserable if we took him there at 6, because that's a bad word to say, but I would be pissed because once again, Genty is gone. If he's off the board, I can't be upset that a blue chip guy is off the board. He didn't fall to us. But honestly, I would rather have Mason Graham there. And I'm not the biggest Mason Graham guy. I would rather have him at 6. Even Mimbo to me really didn't make any sense either because of, once again, he's your starting right tackle from Jump Street. And then you have to put Glaze, at the guard spot or have him battle it out. But once again, you're not drafting a guy at 6 and not having him start from jump. So this is a weird time in the nation with these two names. Hammer, how do you feel about Kelvin Banks? Is this smoke at 6? Because I think it's too early. I think if you move back, which I think is the most ideal scenario where you can pick up a potential 6th round, a potential second round pick, and you can still get Kelvin Banks somewhere in that 10 to 15 range. I think you could. If Mimbo drops, I think the Jets may take him. And once again, I think Kelvin Banks drops a little further than that. And he may be, the Niners are an interesting team, though. They may take him. You know what I mean? That they can use some offensive line help. They're young, they're guy, they're all pro guys getting up there in age, and they need a successor. But I mean, what do you feel about this, Hammer?
Right now, I feel like it's smoke. Now, the earlier mock drafts, I had Kelvin Banks a deadlock going to the Patriots at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Things have changed over the last few months, and I've gone the other way and took the kid out of LSU going to New England.
Will Campbell.
Don't get me wrong. I absolutely huge Longhorns fan. I love Kelvin Banks, but God forbid we go that route and take him at 6. Yeah, I'm going to be incredibly pissed off. Texas guy or not, that's not what we need right now. Granted, we do have the situation. It's really not much of a situation. We heard Spy Tech last week in the pre-draft presser. They're not talking about this shit publicly.
No.
That's it. We shouldn't realistically be talking about, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. At 6, if Genty's there, cool. That should be our guy. Mm-hmm. I'm praying to God that he is there for us at 6.
Yeah. And Banks can play guard too. Yeah. So yeah. But you're not taking a guard at 6.
No, but again, if an opportunity presents itself and some other team is interested in trading up, then yeah, we'll trade back and do something, like we'll make that move. I had somebody earlier send me a text and ask me, like, what is the deal at 6? Like, if Genty goes to Jacksonville, is it going to be best player available for us? And I said, all cards are on the table, but I could also go a route of best player available, but best player available at a positional need. It's very, very up in the air, but I'm sorry. Again, Banks, love you, bro. I'm not taking you at 6. High character and all. Weren't they talking about Genty having high character as well?
Yeah. Oh, that's. I mean, outside of the production that he's put up.
What is the issue here?
Well. The thing is this. The thing is this. Now everybody has him going to 5 with Jacksonville, or there's now some smoke about Chicago potentially trying to move up to where the Giants are, to potentially get Abdul Carter though, or them trying to move up in front of us to get Genty.
We kind of have known about this with Chicago, and we've known about this with Chicago for a very long time, that they were definitely going to be looking at a running back regardless of them having Swift. They sit at what, 9, 10?
Who? Saints are at 9.
Chicago's at 10. Chicago's at 10.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. If we mock drafts we've done before where we weren't taking Genty, like Chicago will be that next team that's going to go and take a running back and go for Genty.
Yeah.
Again, this is lying season right now, y'all. We are less than 24 hours away from probably the first 2 picks being called. Anything is possible. Everything is on the table right now. I could go different ways in players that I would love to have here. I've gone one route where I'm saying, hey, cards are on the table. I'll try to fucking move up to 2 and take Travis Hunter at the opportunity. If the opportunity, if the offer was right, if the offer made sense for us and doesn't set our franchise back again, I'll go for Travis Hunter. Bet your ass I'm going to go for Travis Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Be the only way I move up. Or
like, everything.
The only two players you're moving up for at this point is Cam Ward or Trav.
Everything is on the table right now, man. And I think this whole thing with Kelvin Banks is realistically a smokescreen, because the way that I've seen a lot of these mock drafts, at least over the last 3, maybe 4 weeks, you have Johnson coming off the board. I always get it confused. Johnson or Campbell? Which?
Oh, Will Campbell.
Campbell, yeah.
Campbell's the first tackle that has been coming off the board.
Yeah.
And then it's been Membo going at 7 to the Jets. So all of a sudden to hear Kelvin Banks thrown in the middle of this is smoke.
What do you think, Big Mike, of Kelvin Banks as a player first?
Yeah.
And then what do you think about, because I'm going nuclear if we take him at 6. I'm telling y'all now, this is gonna be the first draft where you see Graphk not just be so optimistic about every move that we make. Yeah. I'm going to lose my shit. And I like Kelvin Banks. This is not me saying I don't like the kid. I think he can be a great player at the next level. But what do you think about him, and what do you think about the smoke? And if we took him at 6, where are you rating that at, with 10 being the highest?
It's a 2. It's a 2. Now, don't get me wrong, he was on my 30 prospects.
Yeah.
But it was under the caveat that we move back and pick him up. Now, I like Kelvin Banks at number 12 to the Cowboys.
Yes.
I think he's going to the Cowboys.
Yes.
But with saying that, this dude's the 3rd ranked tackle in this class. You got Campbell, you got Membu, and you got him. So
with Josh Simmons not too far behind because of that injury.
Exactly. Yeah. And arguably you could say that Josh Simmons might be the best when it comes down to it.
Yep.
So with Will Campbell, he's probably going to be first, and I think the Patriots going to get him at 4. It wouldn't make any sense. Say does Genty does go number 5, right?
Yeah.
And side note, right? The only reason why I think Todd McShay said the Raiders are not picking him at 6 is because it doesn't make enough news if he says the Jaguars are looking at him at number 5. He had to use the Raiders name. I truly believe that these reporters just use the Raiders name in any way.
The calling card. Yeah. Cheat code.
Yeah, it's the cheat code. So he could have said the Jags are looking at him at 5, but it wouldn't have got enough buzz. But anyway, at number 6, you gotta get Membu. If you're gonna pick somebody, if you're gonna pick a tackle, you got to get Membu over Kelvin Banks. Now, Banks, he was an Outland Trophy winner, best lineman in 2024.
Yeah.
He's an excellent tackle, kind of short arms, right? Yeah. He has the short arms, but he can play the guard position, which will solve an issue. But just
has to get better in pass pro, though. Hammer has to. Big Mike, he has to get better in pass pro. He's really great in the run game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, combo blocking, he's excellent.
Yeah.
But the thing is now is, most of these tackles to me are guards. Even Membu, you can even say that he's a guard, a little bit shorter than desired arms. You know what I mean? But he has a quick get off. He's very athletic, but these guys are guards. Even Will Campbell, he's kind of has short arms too. So
Irsay might be like the only real tackle, the kid out of Minnesota. Yeah. Like that may be the first honest tackle off the board.
Right. Even a guy like Gray Zabel, who I really like.
Yeah, phenomenal.
He's everywhere. He can play center, guard, he can, but he has short arms. It's another short arm situation. So if you get Kelvin Banks at number 6, that's like a C- D+ pick.
Yeah,
at 6, you want to get him.
That's bro. Granted, the 3 of us are sitting here. We know who Kelvin Banks is. Majority of the people that are in this chat know who Kelvin Banks is. But if again, nothing but love for the kid.
Absolutely.
But if we were to take him at 6, it's the equivalent to us drafting Leatherwood all over again.
See, I don't think it's that bad. I think he's gonna be a better player for sure.
He'll be a better player, but for us, we would be drafting 6 overall, a position we do that is not a top priority for us right now. I'm seriously, Texas or not, I'm going to lose my shit if we were to really go this route tomorrow.
I'll end it with this. At 6, it has to be a Sewell situation or a Tristan Wirfs type situation where you know what you're getting. You're like, this is going to be the guy that is going to be the anchor along with JPJ, the future of this offensive line. Kelvin Banks, there's questions around him. There's questions with Membu, 2 years of tape pretty much. There's not a ton that you can go off of. This year's tape was phenomenal. I had a ball actually going and checking out a lot of that. But once again, it's just nerve-wracking to see if one of these guys are the guy. This is the draft, you guys, where this is the Brock Bowers situation. It's if you can leave with one of those type of guys on the offensive side of the ball, if Genty's there, and then once again, I won't get upset if he goes before, because it's like, what are you going to do? I'm not moving up for a running back. I'm just not. Like, I'm not moving up for a running back because this is the deep class. You can still get Trayvon Henderson or Wilkins in the second round, and you still have a very serviceable guy that could potentially be a star at the next level. You know what I mean? But I think Genty's the more sure thing already because of what he's done. I mean, remarkable. He's fucking right behind Barry Sanders, about to break that record. So let me get these supers in real quick. Salute to Hug. This is the question. Does Spy Tech stick with his love for the trenches, or does he pick up a superstar that locks down a starting position elsewhere? Hey, man. Hey, we'll figure it out in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow. Salute to my brother Hug. And thank you for gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Thank you, guys. Welcome to all the new Green Dot Gang. We all have, well, I don't think Big Mike has a membership thing yet. You got to get that.
Yeah, we're going to work that. We
got to get that situated. Hammer has one. It's in the link pinned up top, you guys. Support us. Memberships, they go a long way. You know what I mean? So salute to the Mokes. If we don't take a kicker at 6, I'm going to crash out like Tyree. What more do you want from me? Salute to the Mokes. Salute to LV Maximus. I love it because salute to Big Bro. They just sent me a ton of new product. I am hyped. I showed Hammer behind the scenes. Hammer got some stuff on the way as well. I got some exclusive shit. And I don't know if you guys seen LV. I know you've seen it. Talked to Wood yesterday. He will be on the show very soon. Very soon. We're trying to put something together in play potentially next week or the next few weeks. So stay tuned. He has a lot going on during the draft. He's not going to be in Green Bay, but I think he has some Fox obligations. So it's going to be kind of tough to get him on the show here in the next few days. But stay tuned. Spoke to the GOAT himself yesterday, and he said, let's do it. So stay tuned. Johnny says, as much as it pissed me off, don't think Genty is there at 6. I think we go O-line or trade back when he comes off the board. And see, wait, this is the thing. If we could trade back in that 10 to 15 range, I would love it because then you can go get Barron. I would love to take Barron there in that range. I would take Matthew Golden if he's there in that range. I have no issue with going that route. Jahad Campbell. I have no problem taking a young linebacker there. You know, at that point in 10, 15, even if you want to reach a little bit, like, I don't care because you just picked up extra second. I think there's going to be talent just littered in the second round. I think a ton of guys are going to drop because there's going to be a run on certain positions like it is every year. And you're going to be sitting there like, how the fuck is this guy available in the second round? If you can somehow, some way pick up an extra second, y'all, I'm telling you, we cooking with grease. That would be the ideal situation for me. Move back in that 10 to 15 range, pick up an extra second, and then you can go get your running back and some offensive line help or a receiver, whatever.
Yep.
In that second round and double dip. So salute to Johnny. Salute to my brother Jason. He will be here tomorrow as well. What's up? Hope you're having a blessed week. Can't wait for the draft. It's looking more and more like no Genty. I'm okay with it. Plenty of running backs. OLV for life. A lot of smoke right now, Jay. So I'm still hopeful that, you know, if he's there at 6, then we're going to take him. But if we don't, I know they have a plan, and it seems like they are trolling the world right now, Big Mike. They're trolling the world right now. When I heard Pete the other day say, watch it, like be careful, I was like, this dude has been a coach his whole life, like 50 plus years of coaching experience. He knew what the fuck he was doing. That doesn't come off as a guy that's just kind of like he knew the cameras are hot. I mean, the mics are hot. You got a hot mic in front of you.
Yeah, they know the game. They know,
you know what I mean? So I'm not shocked by it, but you know, we'll see in less than 24 hours, you guys. Once again, salute the Hug. If we rated the first round, Graphk, I got you. Punch the laptop screen. We'll get you a new one, bro. I want to see South Sack Graphk come out. My wife said, they're going to have to get you a new one. Salute to my brother Hug, man. Appreciate you on the $5 holler. Let's get to the next portion of the show, you guys. I want you guys to take on this. Something dropped today, and I was one of the first people that kind of put this into the universe a few months ago. A report dropped today. I know Jordan Schultz was on it. Fox Sports was on it. It looks as though teams are calling Pittsburgh right now for George Pickens' services. Sounds like Pittsburgh is not planning on trying to trade him, but there are conversations being had. It sounds like numerous teams. That's what they said. Numerous teams reached out to Pittsburgh about, so on and so forth they just picked up DK Metcalf. They made him one of the highest paid receivers in the NFL. George Pickens is on an expiring deal. They're not going to pay him. And essentially they're the same kind of wide receivers. You know what I mean? You're not going to pay both these guys top tier money when essentially they do the same thing. This kid is young still, I believe, 24? Probably cost you a day 2 pick, whether that's a second rounder or a third rounder. I mean, the guy is a phenomenal athlete. He's played in a situation where they've had some tough quarterback play. He was great at Georgia, former Brock Bowers teammate, won a national title together. What do you guys think about this? Do you think there's some smoke, some surrealism behind this? Is this smoke leading up to the draft? Because I don't think that Pittsburgh would allow this to leak if there's not something here. I think it just makes sense. You're on an expiring deal. You're not planning to pay him. Why not get a draft pick here and try to build up your team? They don't have a second round pick. They probably would like to get a second rounder there. What do you guys think about this? And would you trade a second or third round pick for George Pickens, knowing that you have to pay him?
Yeah, I would. And this kind of reminds me, not as good, but the AJ Brown situation a couple years ago in the draft when he got traded. Yeah, it's definitely has all the signs, all the makings of a draft day trade. Mm-hmm. Second round, nah, I can't give him a second for that one. Third, I do a third. I do a third for Pickens, and you pay him. I mean, what's the payment gonna look like for him? Like probably around under 20, a little bit under 20
for this year.
20. Well, I mean, if we do pay him, say if we do get him and then extend him,
he's gonna get north of that. I mean, I know he hasn't had a ton of production. Once again, he was kind of in a rough situation, with the quarterback play out there. But I think he's going to be looking at some top tier wide receiver money. I don't think he's going to get paid what Metcalf is getting paid, or the Justin Jeffersons of the world. But Pickens is going to get paid. He's young, and once again, you're going to have a guy in Geno Smith that can get him the ball. So I think honestly, what you do is you just make the play and you see what he looks like this year. I don't know if he'll hold out. I don't know if Pickens would do that. It seems like he's kind of disgruntled out there, and he probably wants to move on, especially with Metcalf in the mix. Yeah, I would see if he would just play his contract out, or at least get a couple weeks in and see what it looks like, and then we can get back to the bargaining table. But I don't know, man. I mean, Hammer, what are you paying for Pickens right now? 20-25 range?
No.
Simple fact. Who's our head coach?
Pete Carroll.
What is Pete Carroll known to do?
Build a culture. And
he got rid of one problem already, did he not?
Oh, with us. Oh, maybe I'm just digging too deep. I thought you were talking Seattle.
We talked about this 2 weeks ago. There's a certain somebody, he had the same name twice, and now he's gone.
Jack, gone.
Not taking that chance with Pickens. We've seen this movie with receivers we've had to trade for or free agent receivers. We saw one that played for Pittsburgh prior.
2 of them. The White Tiger, baby.
Let's say 2 of them.
Fuck
yeah, man.
No, I'm not doing it.
Okay. I am. Pickens is a Raider. That mentality, Hammer, that is a fucking Raider if I've never seen one, bro. Pickens is a Raider, and he's just waiting to become a superstar. I think Geno would love to have him out there. Him and Brock. Pete is a guy to me that would be able to control that situation. And once again, I don't think that Pete had anything to do with Jack Jones. I think this was a Tom Brady. Hey, y'all, look, I already know what time it is with this kid. I watched what he did last year in practice. I've heard some things. We got to move on from. I don't think Pete Carroll had anything to do with this. I think he signed off on it. He probably signed off.
I just thought of something though. Would you consider Pickens better than what we got already with Jacoby Myers?
No.
Because if you got those two, is it a 1A, 1B situation? You know what I mean? He's not a true one. I wouldn't say he could. They're kind of on the same level.
You said Jacoby's not a true one? Is that what you said?
He's not. Neither of them are.
Well, Pickens can be. What, bro? I think he's waiting to be that guy.
Bro, people have looked at Myers for the last few years. People have looked at Myers the last few years as underrated as fuck and could have been a true number one anywhere else. I feel a lot safer having Jacoby Myers here over George Pickens. Fuck that.
Well, I'm not even comparing the two. I mean, Jacoby's a phenomenon, and I don't even know Pickens, so I'm not going to talk shit about him. But I'm just saying this. Jacoby does all the dirty work. Yes, he's one of the most unsung heroes in the NFL. Josh Jacobs said it himself.
Right.
Finally had, a year last year with over 1,000 yards receiving, but he hasn't been a wide receiver one up to this point. He's not. I think that he'd be a great 1B. But and once again, Big Mike, you're right. Up to this point, Pickens has not been a true number one but once again, does he not have the talent to do it? Yes. He's been in a situation where he's like open and he's sitting there like, are y'all going to get me the fucking ball? Like, that's why he was in the media so upset so many times. Like, dude, like I'm out here. I'm waiting. Get me the damn rock. And they couldn't get to him. Now, would that happen in Vegas? I don't know. Would he be okay being kind of a 1B to Brock Bowers and then Jacoby being kind of like the 1C? You know what I'm saying? Maybe, but at least there's some familiarity there with Brock and with Pickens. Look, you guys are crazy. If you would not,
you catching a lot of shrapnel right now.
I'm throwing a third all day, every day. The thing is this: at that point, you got to figure out, can you pay Jacoby? You know what I'm saying? Because he's on an expiring contract as well.
What is his current deal? How much is he getting paid right now?
I do not know.
Because I will say this as it pertains to him. I want to say he might be making like 12, maybe.
And he'll probably be looking somewhere around 2 or 20.
I was gonna say, like, ballpark wise for him, if we were to give him a deal, I would go 20, a little north and 20, like between 20 and 22.
Cap hit of $14 million this year. 14 million.
Give him a couple million more a year.
He signed a 3-year, $33 million with us.
$20 to $22 million, $20 to $22 million a year for him. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Raider Prophet, Phil Ivey, my favorite poker player. All speculations aside, Raider Nation could be surprised by what's about to happen tomorrow. So much smoke. Salute to my guy on the $5 holla. Salute to Mutation as well. Someone explain how the hell Genty even makes sense for the Jags. I watched us beat them in person, and that team is awful everywhere. They can't support him yet. Cohen has one season as a play caller. I agree. And once again, it's not necessarily a need. I'll say this, and I'm not acting as though ETN is phenomenal. Like he had a rough year last year. It was like a 1-2 thing with him and Bigsby. He only had like 500 yards rushing. 2 years prior, he had over 1,000 yards rushing, you guys. Yeah. And he's been really durable. I think he's only missed 2 games in his career, which were last year. So he'll be 27 in January, I believe, somewhere like that. But he's still 26 years old. If I had ETN and Bigsby, I'm not taking Genty at 5. I have so many needs. I'm like, what? Like I'm gonna go outside that. Now they don't have a running back room with some untapped talent. Well, you don't know who is Dillon gonna be. It's Sincere a 4 or 5 game splash. We don't know. Like with Sincere, can he sustain that? Can he do that moving forward? We know that Zeus ain't it. You know what I mean? Raheem Mostert is 98 years old. You know what I mean? And we're hoping that we can get 2023 production out of him, which is going to be very tough. You know what I mean? So, to me, it doesn't make any sense. I know he's from the area, born in Jacksonville, so it's kind of like a homecoming of sorts. I get that. And Cohen probably wants to run the football a lot to take some of the pressure off of Sunshine, you know what I mean, and not have him forcing it. He's throw a ton of picks.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm going to be honest with you. It makes sense to me because ETN doesn't seem like the guy that we saw his first couple of seasons. Now, Bigsby, he's more of a second running back. Yeah. He's a second running back. Yeah. They would be willing to be like, thanks for your service, ETN, but we're moving on. We're grabbing Genty. He's going to be our number 1 guy, and Bigsby's going to back him up. I can see it happen. I can see it. It makes sense to me.
Since we're talking about the Jags, and y'all just brought that dude's name up, can I just do it one time for y'all, please?
Duval.
Please.
Duval.
I can hear it.
No,
it didn't work.
It didn't work, man.
Man, you over here fumbling the rock.
Duval.
So fucking.
Yo, salute to J-Ro. But why would we go pay Pickens and not pay Jacoby, who has proven himself for the Raiders quietly? Make that make sense. The thing is this, bro. We have a new regime in place, okay? I'm not saying that they're not going to be high on Jacoby. I think that everybody loves Jacoby. He's one of the more underrated players in the NFL. But you got Chip Kelly in the building. You got Pete Carroll in the building. You have a ton of new guys, Spy Tech. there's always a lot of turnover when new guys come into the building. We don't know how high they are on him. Do they think that he can replicate what he did last year? Do you think that he can have another 1,000 yards? We shall see. It's to be determined, right? I'm not saying Jacoby's not worth extending. I definitely would. But all I'm saying is if you can get a Pickens that is a lot younger than him and has not even got a chance to reach his ceiling and was a highly decorated player coming out of Georgia, I'm taking that. I'm taking a flyer on that.
Hold up. I'm thinking about this now as you're talking about Pickens and his ceiling and what have you. Second round, 37th overall. Abuka could be there. Luther Borden could be there. Those could be guys that we could look at potentially as number ones.
Jaden Higgins is climbing too.
Number two.
Trey Harris, baby.
Number two, in terms of this scenario, Pickens is looking for a new deal, right?
We haven't heard anything about that.
But what I'm saying is, you take one of these guys in the second round. You ain't paying them that much for 4 years. Come on.
Financially, it makes sense. You're right.
No, it makes total sense. But are you going to for sure get a player that could potentially be a George Pickens? I mean, I think we're kind of selling George Pickens kind of short here, you guys. I went over his stats before, but I got to bring this up. Let me take this. Let me take a look at this.
I just remember that crazy catch on that Thursday night game where he kind of, that was crazy. That's the one I remember from him. So he's a playmaker at the very least.
Yeah, for sure.
Every Steeler receiver we got fucked us over. No, sir.
Just turned 24 years old, too. Really, really young. So
there's some rookies coming out that are 24.
Yeah, look, he had last year, he had 900 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was on a down season, and he still had 3 touchdowns the year prior, 1,140 yards. 1,140 yards. At you, bro. Hey, man, look.
Hey.
Yeah, I think Graphk has new representation now. I think George Pickens is now one of his new clients.
I'm kind of on both sides of the coin on this one, man.
Bro, Jacoby never had 1,000 yards until last year. This kid had 800 his rookie season, 1,140 in his second season, and 900 last year with that quarterback situation, quarterback carousel in Pittsburgh. Like, look, I'm just saying, man, that the kid he's a phenomenal young talent. He's still young. Look, I would rather have somebody that that can get it done than go out there and I'm still drafting a wide receiver regardless. But if you bring in a Pickens and you move a 3rd round pick for him, I'm looking at more of a shifty wide receiver in the later rounds, like a Jimmy Horn Jr., one of those type of guys that you can bring in and be a dynamic playmaker for.
Ricky White shoes.
White shoes.
Oh yeah, man. Ricky White. Hey, I'll say this: if I was Mark Davis, if you're gonna bring in a Pickens, I'm looking him dead in the eyes. I got my eye on you. You can't miss him one time. You out. Like that's it. You doing a 1 year prove it kind of situation. If you look at least a little unhappy on the sideline, just a little bit.
And I'm looking at Jacoby, and once again, this is not shitting on our guy. Love Jacoby. But year 1, 359 yards. Year 2 in New England, 729. Year 3, 866. 2022, 804. 2023 with us, 807. Then last year, 1,027 yards. So, and he didn't score a touchdown until his 3rd year in his career. Now, I know he didn't have the greatest situation with quarterbacks in New England as well. So I'm not going to beat up on him, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, man, there's such – I think we can all agree, right, that Pickens' ceiling is a lot higher than Jacoby at this point.
Yeah, because we're seeing – in real time, we're seeing Jacoby's ceiling right now. Is it a Hunter Renfrow type of situation? You know what I mean? From a couple years ago, where he had 100 catches, 1,000 yards. Like, is that the best we're gonna get from him? Like, that's a good point. Like,
yeah, and even with Hunter that year, we were in wide receiver hell. You know,
we kind of were last year too.
Yeah, and Jacoby stepped up. Him and Brock both had over 1,000 yards receiving. Yeah. So. Yeah, man. Salute to Hug. Yes, everybody support one of our own, man. Him and his wife have a phenomenal brand, you guys, a great company that I think everybody in the nation needs to support. Nobody, I think Hug supports these channels. And this is no knock to anybody else and any of the Mob Fathers. Hug supports us every single day, man. With blood, sweat, equity all day, every day. I think Hug damn near deserves a little bit of ownership of OLV Raiders Network with how much he supports us. So make sure we support one of our own, man. The CGR put the link up right there. Customer Appreciation Day on 208 Custom Design ends at midnight tonight. 50% off all gang sheets. Hit your boy up for that custom swag. We got you. And salute to my brother CGR. Once again, man, put it out there.
Yeah.
208customdesigns.com. Go get some shit with our guy, man.
For sure.
You already know. That out. Now let's get to it, man. We talked about Pickens. We talked about Kelvin Banks, the situation. We talked about Genty. There's a lot of smoke with him going before us. And at that point, we can't really, there's nothing we can do with that situation. If he goes before us, whatever. If we pass on him at 6, I think there's going to be a lot of people in the nation in an uproar. And I'll probably be one of them because I think we're going to decide on taking a player that I probably don't want there at 6. But we'll talk about that tomorrow when the draft hits. We have a special, with Big Mike right here, man. He does this year in and year out. The past few years he did with Planet Raiders. And once again, I know a lot of people were asking me about our website. It's still up. We're going to get back to it soon, you guys. It's very difficult for us to handle, like different businesses. Big Mike has a career. Wasted has a career. They were writing every day as much as they could. I do this full time, so it's tough for me to put so much of my time into Planet Raiders. But it started there, a 30 for 30, where he would write an article, do a video on a player. Explain to the nation, Big Mike, for those who haven't got an opportunity to check it out, what you did, and we'll go over some of the players. And then I want your big board. Yeah. We'll go like maybe 5 to 10 players with your big board going into the draft.
Yeah, so this is the 3rd season. It started with Planet Raiders. We did the 30 days, 30 prospects. Like I said, it's my 3rd season doing this. Season 1.
Big Mike, real quick. Josh, pause. All right, go ahead, Big Mike.
That's wild, bro. That's wild. But we've been doing this for 3 years. The first season, I did an article with it. It was a lot of work. I had a lot more time a couple of years ago when I was doing that, but it's pretty much my 30 favorite players that I think would fit with the Raiders. Now, it's not a top 30 type of deal. It's a 1 through 7 rounds, 1 through 7. I pick a few from the first, a few from the second, and then I matriculate down the draft, and I pick based on fit, what I think would fit with the Raiders, not necessarily, my favorite guy. Now, a lot of people were like, "Oh, how come you didn't put Scatterball on the list?" Well, he doesn't fit, and he's a 49ers lover. So
talking shit, Mike.
He didn't make the list. So it's that's what we did. It's the 3rd season, and man, this was my favorite season doing this, and this was probably the toughest one because in that middle, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round is loaded. It's loaded. Yeah. So it was tough, man. It was tough making the 30 list.
I love that you did it because it was up to the last minute that Big Mike wasn't going to do it. Because I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to do it this year. And then when you hit us up and was like, "I'm on it," I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah,
let's
go.
It's a lot
of work.
Once again, you guys, if y'all one of the mods, if you guys can put, matter of fact, you don't even have to. I already got it up right here, man. I'm going to put Big Mike's channel in the comment section. You guys, make sure you guys go support one of our own. Run those numbers up over there. This is Big Mike's channel right here.
Yep. Hey, it's a perfect way right before the draft. Binge watch it right before the draft. Kind of get to know who we might be drafting. We hit last year with Dylan Laube in the 6th round. Exact where I thought he was going to get picked.
Yep.
He landed right there. I think we're going to get a lot more this year too.
All right, so we'll go over some of the names. You started a few months back, and you started with Tet McMillan, a guy that's kind of a polarizing player in this year's class, right? Like a lot of people were like, "We're good with taking him at 6," and now I'm starting to see people kind of dropping him down, because of the comment of him not really watching tape and blah blah and so on and so forth. We heard all of it, the separation problems, blah blah blah. Why is Tet on that list?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's not a good start to my 30 because when the whole film thing came out. Now I know it was like he may have said that his freshman year or whatever, but you don't learn to love film like that in college. You know what I mean? In fact, you probably hate it more when you get to college. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's either you have it or you don't. Now, you could argue and be like, hey, the film thing, maybe that's not really a big thing for wide receivers, but that's how you get better. That's how you get it better as a wide receiver. And to me, he doesn't have the work ethic where I think he would be worthy to be in the 6th round pick. Is he going to sharpen those skills? He's a 5-star guy coming out coming out of college, high school.
Yeah.
A lot of those 5-star guys rely on strictly the athleticism, their status as a 5-star guy. So when they get to college, it's almost smooth sailing for them up to the point where they get to the league. And then now they find out like, hey, I got to do a little bit more extra work. Some do, some don't. To me, McMillan doesn't seem like that guy that's going to do that work. You know, he's a vertical guy. He's a 50-50 guy. You know, not really great with running the route tree, but he's a 50-50 guy. Doesn't have the super breakaway speed. Kind of reminds you of Mike Evans when he came out. Mike Evans was a lot more dominant, a lot bigger, but kind of similar build, right? But
Drake London-esque.
But my thing is, if we do get a Ted McMillan, it's got to be in a trade back situation. I said that at the beginning of my whole series. It's got to be a move back type of situation. A lot of the guys that I did bring up was under the caveat that we're going to move back, except for like Genty, you know, except for like maybe even Mimbu. And then Travis Hunter, you would have to move up to get him. But, you know, for him, you got to move back, as well as a bunch of other guys that we talked about.
A few of these players, we'll just you have Genty on there. You have Mimbu. We talked about them ad nauseum. Travis Hunter, we talked about him. Kelvin Banks, we just literally finished talking about him. This is one of my favorite players here, and one of the better videos. Honestly, I love what you put out there with him, and I think it did some really good views compared to the others as well. They all did great, but this one with Jahad Campbell, like you know, there's some concerns right now because of his shoulder. You know, I know he was in a sling and so on and so forth. What do you think about Jahad Campbell, and why did he end up on this 30 for 30? And if you are the Raiders, if you trade back, is he an option for you there in the middle of the first round?
Absolutely. He's a versatile dude. You can put him on the line. You can put him as a box linebacker. You can have him as an edge rusher. He's everywhere. He's a Where's Waldo on the field. You know, offensive coordinator nightmare. He can be in the 5 technique. He can be in the box. He can cover. He can get after the quarterback. Like, he does some special things on the field, man. And
sideline to sideline, the guy that we've been asking for decades now.
Decades. He's that guy, right? And you know, a move back situation is where you're gonna get him. You know, and if say you move back to 12, right? Say you trade with the Cowboys. That's kind of what I brought up. 10, 12, because Bears, Cowboys, they might be looking at a Genty, right? Or looking at trying to move up. If you really like Jahad Campbell, you move back to that 10 to 12 range. Slight reach, but not too much to where people are going to be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, because he's the guy that we're, like you said, it's a guy that we haven't had in years, and he'll set off this defense. He'll make us an elite defense, to be honest with you.
Hey, Hammer, what's your thoughts? We've talked about him, but what are your thoughts on Jahad Campbell? Do you have any, like, where do you have him going in the first? And I don't mean by team, I just mean, where do you have him number-wise going in the first round? And would you look at him if we decided to trade back?
If we were to trade back, yeah, he's a guy that I look at anywhere between like that 12 and 17 range.
Yeah. Sure.
If we weren't to trade back and look at a linebacker, the only other linebacker that I really liked and watched a lot of his tape after seeing some of these mock drafts, especially the ones that Kuiper and McShay came out with not too long ago, was Carson Schlesinger.
Mm-hmm.
I think like he definitely fits. He definitely would fit this defense. He would fit Patrick Graham's defensive scheme. Again, this is a guy that's more fit for in the box, but that would be my next best option at linebacker for us.
Okay, let's go back to the list real quick. We got Jahad. We've talked about Will Campbell. This is where I really wanted to talk about, because there's a few names here. Amarion Hampton, we've talked about him a ton. This is one of my favorite defensive tackles in this class, Big Mike, and I think that a lot of people are definitely underestimating him. I think that a lot of the credit that he deserves, everybody gives it to Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, a guy that I have as a first-round guy, and he should be higher. He'll probably end up in that middle of the first, probably maybe Miami, or he can end up in the 20s somewhere. What's your thoughts on Kenneth Grant, and why did he end up in your 30 for 30?
Man, my face lit up when you said his name, man. He's that type of dude, man. Like, he's okay. So when we talk about fit, right? Mason Graham doesn't fit what we're trying to do. He's a 3 technique. You know, we got a 3 technique, in Christian Wilkins. We don't need a 3 technique at number 6.
Well, he's played some nose before, right? Like he played some nose,
but he's not a true
a true nose tackle. Yes,
he's not a true 1 technique, 0 technique.
Agreed.
But a guy like Kenneth Grant is. He's a 0 technique. He's a 1 technique. He's gonna head up on the center. He's gonna go in between that shade and the guard in the center, and he's gonna dominate. And we're in need of a true dominant 1 technique. Now you got a guy like Adam Butler who's good, right? Yeah. But this guy, I think he could be a perennial All-Pro at the 1.
I agree. He's that fucking good, Mike.
He's that good.
Good. His tape to me reminds me of watching Membu on the offensive side of the ball in the trenches.
Absolutely.
His tape is phenomenal. And once again, you know, I don't know why Mason Graham is getting all of the credit out there. Like it's weird to me, bro. Like it's someone that only had like 3.5 sacks last year, didn't get to the quarterback a ton. And you would think that he'd be freed up a lot because, you know, of what this kid can do. Like I thought that Mason Graham would have had way more production with the tape that he put out there.
You know what this is though? To me, it just always seems like these type of players go to a Baltimore, a Pittsburgh, and they're always picking on the end of the first round. Players. Yeah. So, you know, we got Mason Graham who's good, right? But this guy is better. I think he's better in my opinion. Yeah. A lot of people don't agree with me, but I think I agree. Better. Yeah.
He may be my one. She might be 1 or 2. To be honest, I like Walter Nolan. There's other guys in this draft that I like at defensive tackle, but he's probably one of my favorite, if not favorite, defensive tackles. Hammer, any thoughts?
Not a guy that I've really had on my radar, at least at defensive tackle position. And you know, like some of the guys you and I had talked about before. And
the kid out of Texas, you like Harmon as well out of Oregon.
The kid out of Kentucky as well.
Oh yeah. 6'7".
Devin Walker.
Yeah.
Was he like a 3rd or 4th round projection, right?
Yeah.
That's a scary son of a bitch, man. He's almost 400 pounds. Like,
yeah.
That's no joke.
Look, if you don't make it in the NFL, you'll have a successful career in WWE. Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Kind of skip down the line, right? Since we're talking on the same line of 1 techniques, another guy that would be good. He made my list. Jamari Caldwell from Oregon. Plays that nose tackle 1 technique, but he's versatile too. He can play the 0, 2 to 5, meaning that he can play right head up on the center, but he can also go out, bounce on the edge. When he was with Houston before he transferred, he was playing that 3 and 5 technique, and he got like 6 sacks with Houston, then went to Oregon and played his role. His numbers kind of diminished a little bit, but that's because he was playing more of the 1 technique. But the dude has a motor.
I was surprised because I asked Big Mike. I had initially a different thumbnail for this show, and then some stuff happened today, so I changed it up. But I asked Big Mike, I said, bro, 3 favorite players.
Yeah.
He said Siobhan Revel, which is phenomenal. We all love Siobhan Revel. Yeah. Genty, which is a given. And the kid out of Oregon. I mean, and I'm like, wow, I didn't expect that.
He's the value. He's a 3rd, 4th round projection guy. Like, you know, he's outside of that top 100. It's an absolute steal. It's an absolute steal. Say if you don't go Kenneth Grant, more than likely you won't go Kenneth Grant in the 1st round. Yeah. So why not get somebody that can do just a good job at that 1 technique in Jamari Caldwell? He can sit behind Adam Butler too for a little bit. So you know, it's a perfect fit. It's a perfect fit.
Before we get back to the 30 for 30, salute to USC, salute to Niles, both of you guys for gifting 5 apiece. I thank you, sis. I thank you, bro. Appreciate you guys for so much for always supporting what we do over here. If you guys want to become members on channels, hit the links up top. Me and Hammer have them both posted up top. Become members. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here. Shieldmore, Niles, USC, love y'all. Appreciate you guys. Salute to C-Game Go. Salute, fellas. I'm headed to the Raiders draft party tomorrow. What wide receivers do y'all like in the middle rounds? There's a ton of them. C-Game Go. I got to be honest. We'll be real brief here. And when you mean middle rounds, 3rd, 4th, 5th, in that kind of range, I'm looking at Jack Beck. That's my guy at TCU. If Trey Harris drops to the 3rd round, I am running to the podium. Ricky White the 3rd, UNLV. That's a guy that I'm high on. Some other guys you guys have?
Savion Williams.
Ooh.
That dude, he was on my list too.
Yep.
He's like Cordero Patterson.
Yep.
He played running back. He's 6'5" though. He's a big dude. He's shifty. He's got a wiggle.
And he's fast as shit.
Fast.
Yeah.
And he can play the Wildcat quarterback. He can play the wide receiver. He's good at the vertical, and he can run the ball.
Yeah. I love what's severe because I've talked about this kid a lot too. Is Horton out of Colorado State? He dealt with an injury last year. Missed some time, but that dude is a real X receiver. Like you put him out there on the boundary, great 50-50 guy. He is very underrated in this year's class. I definitely love that kid out of Colorado State. Salute the Hug.
Nash and Tesla, the kid out of Arkansas.
Tesla is a sneaky kid. He's big. He can play all positions at wide receiver. Play some special teams for you. And Nash, I think, goes later. I do believe he's a late round guy.
Yeah, he's a 5th, 6th round guy.
And potentially even drop into the 7th.
Yeah,
like to be real with you. Yeah, he would. And Will Shepherd as well out of Colorado. I like him as a later round option. Salute the Hug. Report came in today that Brady will be heavily involved in the draft room. Thoughts? Does he have any pull on the number 6? Interesting dynamic fireworks. Yes. Definitely. He was the one that brought in our general manager. So they are the brain trust of this team because, Pete Carroll has 3 years. 3 years, you guys. 4th is a team option. Tom is here for the foreseeable future. He ain't going anywhere. He's a minority owner. Spytek got a 5-year deal. Those 2 guys, I think, matter the most when it comes to decision making. Pete's going to have a word for sure, but I just think that Brady's word is damn near gospel in that room. And why not? He's won 7 championships. He knows what winning looks like. It makes all the sense in the world. So salute to Hug, my dog. And I think we're almost caught up. Salute to our brother Kane Town. It's always good to see our brother Kane. If the Wi-Fi can get right, man, Kane need to be back. You know what I mean?
Miss Kane Town, man.
Genty, I used to love the shows that you guys used to do together. It's
we
funny.
Used to just talk shit half the damn time.
We used to do the fan shows in Kane Town would help me. He'd be the only one that helped me keep this shit in order. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, calm the fuck down. Why y'all yelling and shit? Like, you know what I mean? From the Kane Town, man, aka Bam Bam Bigelow. Genty, Barron or Starks trade back. I love it. Starks is a dog out of Georgia. He's gonna be a first round pick for sure. I'm starting to like Barron a lot more. I am. If we trade back, if we trade back. Sure. Yeah, me too. Yeah, pause. Salute to Jordy. Fucking idiots. We're just getting way too. It's just nasty work. So to Jordy, my dog, had to come through and drop a super for you, Big Mike. Thank you for all the work you're doing for the nation to ensure we're an educated fan base. We appreciate you, man. Get the memberships rolling.
You know what, man? You know what? You make a good point of that, man, because that was my motivation for doing this whole thing, man. Like, I really want Raider Nation to be the smartest fan base all of sports. That's why I did it. You know what I mean? You go there, you talk draft on draft day, you're gonna look like a damn genius. Just facts. I got you guys.
Evil Mitch, I did get your super, brother, and I believe you. He said if we get Mimbu, we riot pretty much. He's not trying to get an offensive tackle there at 6. Salute to my guy, Evil Mitch. Loso, I did not get a chance to see it, but I'm assuming that he talked about his story with his brother. They got killed in New Orleans and so on and so forth. And then he goes out to the Senior Bowl and wins MVP, which is a great story. I have not gotten an opportunity to check it out. Thank you for reminding me or even let me know that it exists. So I'm definitely going to check that out.
Quick side note, and this is about a little over an hour ago. The news broke and we haven't touched on it yet, but rest in peace to a Hall of Famer. He was a phenomenal defensive player, and he was also a pretty good wrestler too. Steve Mongo McMichael passed away a few hours ago from ALS. 4 Horsemen in the building. Wow. Rest in peace. Thoughts, prayers, strength, faith with you, your family, the Bears family as well.
Yes, man. Prayers and salute to Mongo, one of the GOATs in the 4 Horsemen, man. Salute to that guy, man. Definitely rest in paradise to him, man. Salute to Mongo, man. Kane says, "Got the Wi-Fi's been fixed. Got a new laptop. Just working on getting the spot set up in the new place."
Man, he need to get a new chair, man. He was sitting on a wooden rocking chair doing shows. He was sitting on the Bray Wyatt Classic, bro.
Bray Wyatt, bro.
Get a damn chair, bro.
Bro, that shit sitting on the Bray Wyatt, bro, talking about the Raiders, dog. Kane need a backiotomy after sitting on that motherfucker, bro. So we'll get back to the list real quick. We know Siobhan Revel. We've talked about him. Tyler Booker, which I love. That was one of my favorite videos that you did. That's one of my favorite guards in this class.
He's going to climb up to the first, though. I think he's going up to the first.
I can see that. There's a few other guys. You just talked about Caldwell. O'Donnell Fortune is a kid that I got a chance to watch at the Shrine Bowl. the practices, and that kid's a stud, bro. Like he could be a late day, day 3
guy
pick that Pete Carroll can actually turn into something. What do you think about the young South Carolina guy? I was so happy when I seen you upload that one. I'm like, bro, I got videos that I have not even uploaded to him from the Shrine Bowl. That was one of my favorite players watching out there with Melo Dotson and Kobe Bryant out there at the corner position. But why you have on the 30 for 30?
Game breaker. You know, when the light shine the brightest, he shows up. Simple as that. You know, he gets after the ball. He fits in good with, being a zone cover guy too. Yeah. I think that he would fit in perfectly with what we're trying to do. And, you could probably, try him out at the nickel corner position initially, right? Because we don't know who's our nickel guy going to be. Yeah. Maybe he can be that nickel corner. I like him in the 4th or 5th round. I think it'll be an absolute steal picking him up.
I got to ask you, you didn't do a Zal Frazier video.
I didn't. Okay. I didn't. But he was the honorable mention.
I just had to check the temperature on that. Because that was Andy's guy. Andy put me up on him. Like, bro, that is a Pete Carroll guy. And I'm like, how the fuck did I miss out on him? You know what I mean?
He's what, a 6th round projection, 6th, 7th round. So it was tough, man. I was like, man, I like Ricky White. Yeah, I like Teddy Buchanan. Like I was switching up a lot. So I was like,
he's another sneaky kid, Buchanan out of Cal.
Yeah.
Talk about him a little bit. That's another dude that is probably gonna be a late round guy that can be a centerpiece in that linebacking group.
Yeah, he can. He can. Great blitzer.
Yeah,
he can cover very well. He started at the FCS level with UC Davis. From your hometown, Sacramento.
Yeah.
So, he was first team All ACC this year at the linebacker position. He's a tackling machine.
Yeah.
He needs a little bit more size. He's about a little bit over 230 pounds. So if he wants to play a box linebacker,
put some weight on.
About 240,
250, 245, 250.
Yeah. But the dude has a good frame to add some weight and things like that. So I think he can be sneaky and really make a squad, make a 53. Oh, special teams guy too. So
yep. We've talked about Trayvon Henderson. We've talked about Benjamin Morrison a ton. That's a guy that I love. I'm a Notre Dame guy. Tate Ratledge, one of the best, one of the better guards in this year's class out of Georgia. Talked about Jaden Higgins. Gray Zabel, we've talked about him. Siobhan Revel. What's your opinion on Ellick, the kid out of Stanford? He's a guy that's starting to rise up a lot of people's draft boards, going into this class. And one of the more sneaky talents in this year's draft class. Why'd you end up putting Ellick on there?
Work ethic and IQ. That's really what it comes down to. Dude went to Stanford. I think he was like a biomechanic major or something like that.
Damn.
This dude breaks football down to a science. Like he's the type of dude that you're going to see in the film room breaking it down to a fine pace, similar to like a Devontae Adams when it's all said and done. I think that he really wants to learn and sharpen that craft. And I think he didn't really reach his potential at Stanford for the last couple of years. They didn't have a great squad over there. And I think with the right quarterback, the right fit, I think he can be a perfect X receiver. I mean, he lit up Travis Hunter for almost 300 yards receiving a couple seasons ago.
Yep, cooked his ass.
Cooked him. So
speaking to him too, Ian Rappaport just put it out there. Jacksonville's considering trading up to the Browns to get Travis Hunter.
Shit.
So that takes Genty off. That would take Genty off of that, and he'd be available for us.
Yeah,
Unless somebody does some sneaky shit and tries to move up in front of us.
Does the Browns need Genty too, though? That's the question.
I think that they would move back to 4, and they would still take the player that they really want, which would be probably Abdul Carter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true because he'll be available at that point.
Well, he may not get past the Giants had 3 though. So
he shouldn't be past 3. He shouldn't be.
I want to see this.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Salute to Jordy. Hey, amen. We've been emotional fan base. Now it's time to upgrade to becoming students of the game. New members only content. Laugh out loud. Salute to my guy Jordy, man. Yeah, yeah. Big Mike got to get that membership thing flowing.
Yeah. I'm gonna work on that, man.
I'm looking. I just saw this on X. So NFL.com. Daniel Jeremiah came out with his final mock draft. This is released about an hour ago. So here are the top 10. Ward to Tennessee, Hunter to the Browns, Carter to the Giants, Will Campbell goes to the Patriots. Jacksonville takes Genty.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Everybody's jumping on that bandwagon now.
They have us taking fucking Banks.
Yeah.
And they're giving the reason of Colton Miller seeking a new contract.
that yeah, whatever.
Hold on. Where does Shador
we have
go?
when we have like the second, third most salary cap in the NFL right now. Like paying Colton Miller is not a problem. And once again, you guys, this is the thing that people need to relax with. It's been reported that Colton's people have not talked to the Raiders, and the Raiders have not talked to Colton. So there's not been a chance for them to sit down at the bargaining table yet.
So listen to this.
So what are we doing here?
So listen to this. They had the Giants trading with Seattle, and the Giants get Jackson Dart at 18.
I can see that.
And at 21, there's a projected trade right here between. Actually, no, this is still 21 because they have 21. The Steelers take Shador at 21.
That makes sense.
I see that. Yeah. If he gets past New Orleans, it's going to be a free fall for Shador unless a team comes up for him. Pittsburgh is going to be that spot where if he doesn't go there and a team doesn't trade up, Shador fall to the second round. Real talk. So
imagine his father and how he's going to react to that shit.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. We just talked about Teddy Buchanan, you guys. Ricky White, my guy. He'll be on the show soon. Did some interviews with him at the Shrine Bowl. That's my dog. This is one of my favorite guys. And I'll say a few names: Malachi Moore, Kobe Bryant. That's my dude. Yeah. We talked about Savion Williams, Kyle Kennard, Carson. Hammer just spoke about him. Maxwell Hairston, a guy that visited with the Raiders out of Kentucky. That's an interesting match right there. The corner, we need some corner help. That would be an interesting one. But I want to
break the ball like none other, man.
Yeah, crazy. What happened?
Man.
No. Oh, yo, Unca's in the building.
Yeah, salute to our guy Violator.
Violator in the building.
There's 3 players in here that I want to put a little emphasis on. You have Malachi Moore once again. Joshua Gray. This is a kid that I got a chance also to interview at the Shrine Bowl. He stood out amongst all the offensive linemen. Oregon State kid that played tackle. He knew because of his size that he's going to have to move to guard at the next level.
Short arms.
Yeah, I believe he got some center reps out there in Oregon State as well last year. He plays all across the O-line. Why'd you end up putting Josh Graham? Because this is one of my sneakier players in this year's class.
Reliability, man. I mean, 4 years, he was starter most of his career with Oregon State. Yeah. He 46 consecutive starts over at Oregon State. Good lateral movement. Got the short arms, but he did his thing at the guard position. He knew he had to move over to guard to kind of up that stock. Mm-hmm. And I think he's learned to be a better guard. And, over the years, maybe you do have him at tackle, right? He's a project, but that's why you would pick him in the 6th round, kind of, have him learn, maybe having a practice squad for a little bit, and then see what happens. I think he has some potential. He has the work ethic to make it happen.
Southern California kid, when I asked him, I said, bro, you from Cali, man. What do you think about the Raiders? He said, I would fucking love it. So,
he's from Rancho Cucamonga.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep. Southern California kid. So be right down the road. So I would love
the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I know, right? Damn motherfuckers, bro. Rocket, my guy, one of my hidden gems at the running back position, a kid that he didn't deal with those injuries, the knee injury. I believe he had, was it a shoulder injury? I believe he's dealt with a few things out there in South Carolina. Why'd you have Raheem Sanders on here? A guy that a few years ago had a ton I think he had like 1,600 rushing yards. Yeah. And then he had a down year, and yet last year he started to kind of put it back together.
Yeah. He did most of his damage with Arkansas.
Yeah.
He looked, and he wore the number 5. He looked like a very familiar guy that we know, Darren McFadden.
High stakes McFadden.
He looked just like him running the ball, man. Mm-hmm. And, to me, so I'm going to say this about injuries, right? Everybody, like a lot of the guys that I did mention, they were like, oh, but the injuries. I'm like, today's medical improvements is such a vast difference than like 20 years ago.
Yep.
Where an ACL, an Achilles, a shoulder.
You're back in a few months type shit now.
Yeah, you're back. Like, to me, it's not a concern, right? Mm-hmm. With him, I think the concern with him is that he's more of a north-south runner. You know what I mean? He's more of a thunder type of guy, and I would pick him in a double-up type of situation.
Me too.
Seeing that we're going to make a complete makeover of this running back room. We get, whoever getting in the 1st, 2nd round, whether that's Travion Henderson, who's my favorite running back. I like him better than Genty, to be honest.
I like Trayvon. He's a dog.
Yeah.
Best pass pro running back in this class.
And just like hitting the line of scrimmage, he's like a rocket.
Yeah.
You know, he's the real rocket over Raheem Sanders. But anyway, you got him, and then you got Raheem Sanders being that kind of that thunder to the thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
Bro, it's a good match.
You know what's funny when you said north-south runner and that kind of thunder to the light? I asked him like kind of who he would like say his game is comparable to. He said Brian Robinson.
Interesting.
Oh shit.
The Commanders running back, which was really interesting. Like,
you
know, he had a really good collegiate career. He hasn't really been that great. Well, motherfucker got shot. You know what I mean? So he had to deal with some things. You know what I mean? But I thought that was an interesting comp coming from, Raheem himself. One of my favorite players, and I love this. It's so funny, Big Mike, because you told me that he commented on the comment section, and then his dad commented on my tweet the other day because somebody put something out there where they had him like the 17th ranked guard. And I said 17th is criminal. And his dad was pretty much like, they don't even know what they're talking about. It's not a reputable source, right? This is Jackson Slater. I know we talked about him a little bit previously in the show. Why do you have him here, right, in that 30 for 30? And honestly, man, give me a pro comp if you can. Where do you think, like where do you have him at the next level?
Oh, man, it's hard to compare. I mean, the only one I can think of is like a Cody Mauch.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
Only because of the FCS kind of deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. He has a mean streak to him. He's very athletic, super athletic guard. There's like a relative athletic score that, certain like they rate all the guards or whatever from 1987 to 20 to currently. He's like on the like 1 percentile athletically amongst all guards. Yeah, dude's super athletic. And also, he was a 3-time All Big Sky guy. He was an All-American his senior year, and dude tore it up on the field. And Sacramento State program is on the rise. This is a team that's looking to become an FBS school. Yep, in the next couple years. So
trying to do it now. Yep.
Yeah, I see. Kind of putting it all together. I'm like, this dude has the talent to hang with the big boys, and I think he's going to go in the. I said originally 5th round. I think he's going to be in the 3rd or 4th round. And to be honest, I'm rooting for the dude. I reached out to him. I said I was doing the 30 prospects. He hit me back up. He was like, I was like, I would love to do an interview with you. He said, well, I would love to, but I'm going to do a top 30 visit with the Bears. So he did that with the Bears. A couple of days later, I heard from his dad, and he hit me up on the comments and stuff like that. Said his injury was okay because he had a MCL injury.
Yeah.
Took him out for his senior season, but he said his knee is all right. Everything is good. And they're from the Washington area, so he's saying that it's kind of he's rooting for us because of Pete Carroll and the Seahawks connection. He was like, but I'm kind of rooting for him to be a Seahawk, and I'm like, well, for your sake, man, I hope that happens. If not the Raiders, so good dude, good family, man. I'm rooting for the dude, man.
Once again, you guys go to Big Mike Raider on YouTube. There's a ton of content. If you guys are not rated out after this show, go over to Big Mike's channel and watch all these 30 videos. Once again, Teddy Buchanan, Ricky White III, Josh Gray, Raheem Sanders, Odell Fortune, Jamari Caldwell, Jackson Slater, Malachi Moore, Kobe Bryant, Savion Williams, Kyle Kennard, Carson, the linebacker, I always butcher his last name out of UCLA. Maxwell Hairston, Tate Ratledge, Trayvon Henderson, Benjamin Morrison, Jaden Higgins, the kid Ellick out of Stanford, Gray Zabel, Siobhan Revel, one of my favorite corners in this class, Amarion Hampton, one of my favorite running backs in this class, Tyler Booker, probably my favorite guard in this class, Kenneth Grant, probably my favorite defensive tackle in this class, Will Campbell, Jahad Campbell, Kelvin Banks Jr., Travis Hunter, Armand Memble, Genty, and Tet McMillan. Phenomenal series, Big Mike, you put on for the nation. Salute to you. You guys go over there and subscribe to our brother and show some love. Hit those likes on all those. Make sure that they find their way into the algorithm even more than what they are now. Hammer, I want your take on this real quick.
Right.
So there was let me see. I think, is this where it dropped?
Nothing about my hair, okay?
No. I'm not.
Sorry, that shit.
You're going to hell.
Look like a dusty microphone, bro.
Yo, MC just said, "Fuck it, I'm coming back." Let me see. Right here, I wanted to go over this real quick, and I want your take on this. Rhett Lewis dropped a 7-round Raiders 2025 mock draft. This is a guy that does a ton of work for NFL Network, and he actually is a contributor to the Raiders.com. And this is actually on our official website. The Raiders tweeted it out, put it on Instagram, all that good stuff. He has the Raiders going at pick 6 with Armand Membu. We've talked a ton about him. I don't think that we really need to go over that anymore. Round 2, pick 37, has us taking cornerback Trey Amos, Ole Miss. What do you think about this, Hammer? I mean, he's another guy that I don't think is getting a ton of credit, the credit that he deserves, and he is definitely a second-round guy.
Amos, I've drafted in mocks throughout this offseason. Is Membo going to move the needle for this offense?
I don't think so.
That's
No.
Yeah. Trey Harris.
He did 7 rounds, you said?
Yeah, I'm gonna go through all of them.
Let me hear the rest.
Round
of
3, pick 68, Trey Harris, Ole Miss wide receiver. I love this. This is one of my favorite wide receivers in this class. Like, if he's there in the 3rd round, like, you have to go get the big body Ole Miss
sprint to the podium.
Dog, this can be. I'm not saying he's DJ Metcalf or DK Metcalf, no shit like that. But this is that big body guy that Geno would definitely covet on the boundary. I would love Trey Harris to be that guy. Yep. Round 4, pick 108. This is a guy that we haven't talked a ton about, to be honest with you. He is a sneaky type of player. And mind you, I don't think Trey Harris is going to beat in the 3rd round, but if he is, I'm taking him. He has us taking a defensive tackle here at 108, round 4, CJ West out of Indiana.
Yeah,
this is
one
a kid
technique.
That you could be that big body presence you can add to that defensive line. I'm not mad at this. I've seen some draft boards having him available in the 5th, 6th. I've seen as early as the 3rd round. But if you end up getting him here in the 4th, I'm not mad at that. Round 5, he finally takes a running back at 143. DJ Giddens, a kid that is that big frame kind of running back that can get it done. Ran a 4.43 at the combine. Athletic dude, can help you in the passing game as well. I watched him at the Big 12 Pro Day. He did struggle a little bit, like 2 or 3 routes back to back. He cleaned it up a little later though. But this is a kid that averaged 6.5 yards per carry at Kansas State. I wouldn't be against taking him in the 5th round. I'd rather double up, get one early, and then maybe get Giddens later. And how deep this class is, I think that Giddens may even end up in the 6th round. But hey, is what it is. This is a kid that I know you'll be very familiar with. Big Mike, you're a USC guy. Pick 180. We double dip here at corner. We take Jalen Smith.
Okay.
I'm not against this. I think we need to add a couple more corners. Jacorian injured last season. D-Cam in year 2. Can he put it together? Jack Jones is gone. I think it makes sense to go get 2 corners here. A guy that I love right here in round 6, and it's just a shocker to me to see him this always available this late. It's just weird to me. I'm a Notre Dame guy, Jack Kaiser, linebacker at 2. I love this.
He's that traditional box linebacker that a lot of teams don't value anymore. I mean, it's similar to the Eichenberg situation.
And one of the best special teams guys in the country last year. I would love that pick. Now, this is where I kind of lost. He kind of lost me a little bit because I don't think he's going to be available. We just talked about him. Mm-hmm. Round 6, pick 215, Jackson Slater. Now, I would love that. If he was available there, I'm running to the podium to go get Jackson Slater out of Sac State. Round 7, I'm not going to act as though I'm very, very familiar with this kid. Efton Chisholm, wide receiver, Eastern Washington.
I have no idea who that is.
Caught 120 passes for over 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns in 2024. So more of a small school guy. His ability to get open and reliable hands will give him a chance to contribute for the Raiders. So a 7th-round guy, small school dude. I'm not against going out and making a move and bringing an FCS guy in there. What do you guys think about that draft right there?
Gotta go running back early, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I disagree with him there. Taking one in the 5th, and he didn't add a quarterback.
Yeah, no quarterback, running back. Not, I give that a C+ grade.
Yeah, I love the Jackson Slater pickup. I love the Trey Harris pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of look at that as, like you said, like a C. Maybe tops. I'll give him a C+, depending on where how Membu looks at the NFL level.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really too high on that. But if you guys get a chance to, you want to go check it out and read all the notes, Raiders.com is where you can go check it out. Before we end the show, I want to ask your opinion one more time. Smoke screen season. Do you guys buy the Raiders being really high on Jalen Milroe? And where do you guys think that he's going to go? Because there is a lot of motion with his name right now. Even like he was invited to the draft. Yeah. He may sneak into the first round. A team may move up to get him in there in the 20s range. Yeah. I can see it because of the speed, the athleticism, the arm strength. There's a lot of untapped talent there. But once again, he's going to have to go to a place that's special, that can sit him for a few seasons and allow him to grow under a proven quarterback. What do you guys think about him?
Man, you know what? I thought well before when I thought that Russell Wilson was going to stay with Pittsburgh, I thought he was going to go to Pittsburgh at 21. And, maybe they still do that. I can see that. To be honest with you, I think a team like the Jets might get Shedeur Sanders. I think they might shock somebody. And get
God. Well, he can kiss his career goodbye.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Quarterback hell.
It's true. It's true. But
Aaron Rodgers went there and tore his fucking shit.
Right off the jump.
Gone in 93 seconds.
But, I can see a Milroe climbing up to the first and the Steelers kind of taking a flyer on him. But, you look at these mock drafts, he's going in like second, third round.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go second round, to be honest with you. I think he's a second round guy. And the Raiders going to pick him at 37. I don't know how I feel about that.
Salute to G. Got Banks at plus 850 on DK earlier, down to plus 250 now. Salute to my guy G on a $2 special. Robo says George Pickens unfollowed the Steelers per Schultz.
Okay.
There we go.
It might be happening soon.
So, bring him to Vegas, baby. So the Hub, theoretically, if we trade out a 6 to say 11 or 12, pick up extra capital and then trade back into the late first round and get 2 first rounders.
So there's 2 spots that I think that's possible. The Minnesota Vikings only have 4 draft picks this year.
Yep.
They need additional draft capital. Another place is the Los Angeles Rams. They're a tight end away.
Yeah.
They're a tight end away from being an elite offense. We have a tight end for them. If we wanted to jump back into that first round.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, we can jump back, add a, package in maybe a second.
Yeah.
To jump back into the first round if we really wanted to. We really like somebody, especially like a Siobhan Rebel, who I think might be in that late first round.
Even though I think the Rams may keep that second. They have a second this year, right? I don't
think so.
Do they? If they do, they're going to take a quarterback, bro.
Yeah.
Telling you now, they're going to take QB. I wouldn't be shocked.
I have them taking a quarterback.
They may take one in the first
round pick. I'm looking at them to take
maybe that's a Milroe.
Seriously.
I can see Shedeur.
That too. Yeah.
I can see a Jackson Dart, one of those type of guys. And look, man, McVegas is man. He'll turn them guys into one of them ones. So, but Hug, man, I appreciate you on a $5 special. Salute to my brother Halo, man. Y'all be blessed, guys. City of Squala. Baby Don King and Big Mike. Salute to our brother Halo. Halo, man, bro. So you lost all our numbers. Salute to Halo. He drops his phone on the ground and he runs it over with his Harley and loses all our numbers.
Does it surprise you? Do you not remember when he dropped his phone from the fucking balcony at the Ahern?
Halo is a habitual phone dropper.
And a head lumper.
Yeah, a word to be. Word to be. Yeah. Salute to our brother Halo. Love you, bro. Mine too. Yeah, I'm like, you got our Instagrams, bro. Like, hey, Halo. Sis said you have no fucking excuse.
No, boss.
Just wanted to throw it out there. Yeah, we just talked about Pickens unfollowing the Steelers. Great, man. Great. Come on, bring him to LB, baby.
I think this might officially be my final mock before tomorrow night, and this is where we finished. Ashton Genty at 6. I got Jaden Higgins in the second round. You got Darian Porter, the corner out of Iowa State.
Real quick, Porter, interesting because I think he's going to be a second round guy. But if he's available at 68, I have no issue taking Porter there.
Got Josiah Stewart, the edge rusher out of Michigan.
They're going to get a Michigan boy. Tom Brady and Spytek are going to bring in somebody.
Yeah, somebody.
It's going to happen.
It might even be him. It might even be Stewart, man. That makes sense.
We doubled up at linebackers. I got Stutzman and I got your guy, Jack Kaiser. We addressed the offensive line. We got Seth McLaughlin, the guard out of Ohio State, familiarity with Chip Kelly and his system. We got Johnny Cornelius, the offensive tackle out of Oregon. And we wrapped up. We took a quarterback out of your school. We took Riley Leonard with
Boo this man. Boo this man. I was with you on this draft until I seen Riley high stakes Leonard.
That was a perfect draft till you threw in Riley Leonard, man.
God.
You know what's crazy is he showed us the best player available as our last pick.
Oh man, I'd rather have no pick, bro.
But I love that
No
my guy
disrespect.
took 2 Notre Dame guys. And at that point, right, Riley Leonard's a kid that I love when he runs the ball. I mean, if you want to put a couple packages together and have him go out there and some fourth and shorts and just, hey, Riley, go out there and just put your life on the line. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Put him in a goal line. 4th and 1.
Fuck it. But
Yeah.
Ashton, Starr, Jaden Higgins, one of the most slept on ex receivers in this draft class. He could be phenomenal. Porter is an athletic freak. There's a lot of his ceiling is very high. He needs to go to the right situation. I know, isn't he a converted wide receiver?
Yep.
So the athleticism's there. I love Josiah Stewart there, 108. Stutzman, is he going to be a linebacker or a safety? I see a lot of people saying he's going to convert to be a safety.
We're gonna go the Divine Diablo project.
Oh boy.
But flip it the other way.
Yeah. Stay where you're at.
But I like this. I like this. I do. I like it.
Yeah.
I like this. Rosetown, yes, we will be live tomorrow. Hammer will be live with this day one. He got a lot going on with the gigs. Salute to Hammer, man. He is working like a Jamaican, like the bloodline that he has. He is working like a Jamaican. Hammer has 92 jobs now. You know what I mean? I'm shocked that he was free to do this shit today. You know what I'm saying? So salute to Hammer, man. That's what you do. You go out there and get that chicken.
God is good, man.
Yeah, man. Facts, man. That's why he's all gray, y'all. Motherfucker just work.
You get grayer and grayer every time I see you, bro.
Hey, before we end the show, I got to show you guys, man. I showed Mike. I got hair, y'all. I don't have no hairline. I don't have no hairline, but I got hair.
Front, though. He got the George Jefferson going in the front.
My man got the George Burns, bro.
He looked like,
man, look at that taper, man.
You know what he looks like? Hold on. We ain't ending this shit yet.
You got the Smithers.
That's the Smithers. Yo, that's the first time I had hair in babe. When's the last time I cut my hair bald? Like what? 8 years ago? 2013? Oh shit! I was surprised I had any hair follicles left. I can do this shit.
Oh, I wish I could find this shit. No, this is it. Perfect.
Nah, Hammer, fuck you.
Hold on. No, we can't show that.
Yo, Frank, I told my barber, I said, give me the Jason Statham.
Hey,
bro, he
you can pull it off, bro. Like
give me the Jason Statham, bro.
We'll call you the transporter, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Fuck y'all. Nah, that's wasted, bro. That's wasted, bro. Hey, you couldn't pay wasted. I can go to him with $5,000 in cash right now and say, just show your hair on screen.
Yo, he got that live Doppler 7000, bro.
Yeah,
He got that storm coming in, like
a storm.
Everyone watching ends up with Graph's hairline tomorrow if we draft Banks. God.
Yo, fuck it. Hey, Wasted takes his hat off and Jade's theme song comes on. A storm is coming. Yo, salute to Hug. How the F is your beard lined up? Just wraps around the top of your dome. I'm dead. Hug. You know what, man? I went from respecting your company and promoting your everybody. I take that shit back. They do terrible work. It takes 7 months to get your shit back.
He got spy text. Look, yo, I'm done.
Oh,
You said what?
man.
The head of the table needs that great support. Salute to C-Game Go. Everyone watching ends up with Graphk's hairline tomorrow if we draft him.
Y'all not gonna keep talking about my husband.
Talk that shit, babe.
Hey, hold on. It's all right. I got the
Yes, Mike. Thank you.
I got the same thing. We good.
That's a real one, man. That's a real Hey, man, you know what, Mike? I'm ending the show with my hat off, man.
Yeah, we
Bald
doing that.
motherfuckers.
Salute to my brother. You bald, stinky motherfuckers. Salute to Gator. Don't play. Genty the first. Hammer. I believe in Joe Hendricks. Salute to Gator. Don't play. Salute to everybody that joined the show. Once again, y'all, we are right around the corner from the draft. Tomorrow, we will be live all first round, not up until 6. We're going to be covering the entire night. Raiders may pull a crazy move and move up. Let me put this hat on. I'm feeling weird right now.
I'm just gonna put this out there for everybody watching right now and spread the word about this live. It doesn't matter whose channel you're on, but I will tell you this: and no disrespect to the outlets, ESPN, ABC, NFL Network. Y'all are going to want to watch our draft party.
Mhm.
First and foremost, we will be bringing you guys the picks before Roger Goodell takes to the podium to announce the picks.
That's a damn fact.
And not even just that. And Lil Bro's not lying. We do that every year,
Yeah.
except for Detroit Buddha. The 1 year Hammer's not there. Our feed just goes completely fucking black. So I will never do a draft again without Hammer. But I'll say this: we got some special guests tomorrow. You know,
Yep.
I know a lot of people always
Can't
hit me
wait.
up like, "Damn, bro, like, you know, man, I missed those shows with you know you and Honcho." Well, guess what, man? Our brother Honcho will be here tomorrow, kicking it with us. He already got the Henny on ice. He said he got his PTO in. He's taking the day off.
I got
So
3
Honcho-
words. 3 words for y'all. Get the strap.
Get the strap. He will be here tomorrow, and then Scout will be here Friday, Saturday. So Lil Bro's gonna pull up too and help us cover the draft the second and third day. I don't know. I don't know if Waste is gonna be there Saturday because I know he's traveling out to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But whatever my bros are free, come kick it. You guys already know, man. The link's gonna be in the all that good stuff. But I know tomorrow for sure we're gonna be live from Hammers. Whoever's here, we're gonna be live from our channels.
Yeah.
So, but Friday, Saturday, I'm gonna be here every step of the way. Big Mike, you gonna be around or when you go?
I'll be here. I'll be here tomorrow on Friday.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. So we're definitely gonna lock in and we're gonna have some fun, man. And salute to 2-4 on the way out. Have a great show. Now it's time to watch Draft Day. It's tradition, so I can get stoked for tomorrow. Always appreciate that content. Appreciate you, my dog.
Martin actually
Let me
sent,
know, man.
Martin sent me a clip with you doing that. Now I need to revert it into an audio file and make it your official text tone when you text me.
Oh, yo, bro. Hey, do that shit. That should be funny, bro. And every time I text my mom, that shit come up. Remember the Stewie? Mama, mommy, mommy, mama, 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 mommy.
That's what my mom calls me. I still have that for her.
Salute to Raider Man Rock. He says, great show, fellas. Salute to Rose Town. He says, that's my tribal chief. To Hammer. CGR, man, appreciate you dances. Bang! Salute to my guy 78 in the building. Salute to Ghost Rider. All the members, all the non-members, all the commenters, all the non-commenters, all the super chatters, all the non-super chatters. We appreciate every single one of you guys for rocking. As always, thank you guys. I had fucking fun tonight, man. Like real talk. Always love to have like it's something about the energy with my bros because it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's not forced, it's always just natural when you can see it. You know what I mean? So I always love having my guys on, and we miss Wasted, we miss Andy, and you know, hopefully we can all get on the screen together soon. But you guys want to say anything on the way out?
Hit that subscribe button. That shit don't cost you a fucking thing. I am incredibly excited for tomorrow. I cannot wait to be on with my brothers and we get this pick. Nation, I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all are unhappy with any of these draft picks, y'all better start sending letters to Henderson and telling him Hammer needs to be in that front office moving forward because y'all loved all the mocks I did. Let's get that going if we don't get the picks we want.
And here's the cheat code, y'all. Hey, let me tell you guys why Hammer has the greatest mocks. All right, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna put y'all up on game. I'm gonna act like Hammer right here. All right. So what Hammer does is, right, Hammer goes to these websites, right. And what he does, he just takes best player available every round, every fucking round. So we have A pluses all the fucking time. Okay, he don't think outside the box. He just takes the best player available every.
I think based on our positional needs, motherfucker.
Oh, he's at the top of the board. Take him. He's at the top of the board. Take him. Hammer, your mocks are not better than my mocks, bro. I'm mocks out with my mocks out.
Well, at least we know who the worst mocks.
See, I can't even.
We all know who got the worst mocks.
I can't even go any further than this because it's gonna I can't say what I really want to say right now.
But let me say this, Hammer, bro. I feel like sometimes when we watch Wasted Mocks, I feel like he's just trolling. Like, like he be real. It's like, no, I really fucking feel like this. Yeah. I really fucking feel like this. I'm like,
good draft.
That's a good draft. Y'all don't like that draft? All right, well, let's do another one.
You'll do 5 drafts, bro.
Well, when it comes to Graph's mocks, who's the other receiver that he really wanted to draft?
What you mean?
Who was the other receiver that you really wanted?
What receiver?
Yeah, this might be too soon, y'all. But
in this year's class,
I'm dark. So, yeah, who'd you want in this draft class?
Receiver?
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about him today?
Nah, I don't think anybody's going to be talking about him anymore.
Oh. You go ahead and click that button in the show.
You are going to hell. Holy fuck. Hey, I didn't realize how dark Hammer was until a few weeks ago. I was like, my brother got an actual problem.
That shit was dark. Like, yeah, Adam's family dark, bro. Like, call you Wednesday Hammer from now on, bro. That's crazy.
Wednesday Hammer.
Yo, Graphk.
Wednesday night.
Graphk. Yeah. Where's my motherfucking money?
Yo, bro. With that being said, bro, hey, let's say cancel Hammer.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yo, salute to the chat as always, man. Love, appreciate you. I couldn't end the show better than that. Hammer just on some deadly shit. I love it. Hey, man, fuck it, bro. Hey, look, you only live once, man. We'll say this: rest in paradise to Lacey, man. You know, I definitely, before all the other shit happened, I was like, this could be one of the. Bro, you can never. It feels like you can never go wrong with an LSU wide receiver. Like it's just like it's a factory down there. Yeah. These motherfuckers just come into the NFL and just smoke shit. You know what I mean?
Wrong. God damn.